Welcome to It's a Heart Thing. And today I want to talk about something that's pretty near and dear to my heart. And it's called going through the void. And a lot of us, we sometimes have this melancholy feeling that's going on. Some people call it low grade depression. And it's just where we don't quite feel ourselves. And when you're in that state, you're kind of like, if I don't feel myself, if I can't understand myself, then something must be wrong. And I will be honest and say that I experienced that as well. And so that's why I want to talk about it, especially in this day and age with all of the stuff that's going on in the world. It's easy to get caught up in that feeling of just not feeling quite like yourself and not feeling like you're in control. So I remember over 30 years ago, I found this book, and this is when I started my spiritual journey. And the book is by an author. Her name is Sanaya Roman, and it's called Spiritual Growth. This is my very, very first book that I ever purchased, where I actually started to study about this journey and a higher power and how things can go in and we have control based on how we feel, how we think, how we perceive our intentions, and just a whole host of other things. So the one thing I wanted to talk about today is the concept of going through the void. And that's what's happening when you go to this place where you don't feel like yourself, you don't feel like you have control. And a lot of us see that as a bad thing, but the thing is that going through the void is actually a good thing. And I remember reading this many years ago, and in this particular book, Spiritual Growth, it's chapter 13, page 127, where it talks about going through the void. And I just want to read one part of what she said in this book it just brought the concept home to me in such a visual way that I could grasp it. She talked about here where about birds trying to learn, birds that are flying. And she says that, let me see where it's at. It's talk about when a bird is flying and it's in one of its own jet streams and it's trying to move to the next level. And it says, imagine a bird flying happily in its jet stream. It looks upward and sees a higher flow that it wants to join. It begins to leave its familiar path and fly into a higher one. However, conditions between the two paths aren't certain. It may hit turbulence and fall below the original path temporarily. It may be carried way above the higher path, or find that the space between has less or little airflow, making normal flight more difficult. By leaving the familiar jet stream, the bird learns much about itself. It discovers more about flying and the conditions that it can affect, and the conditions that can affect its flight. Eventually, it is able to stabilize and fly easily in the higher flow. The experience is similar to what you encounter when you are in the void. So what I got from that is that we all tend to try to stay away from the void, because as human beings, we want to be in control. We want to know what's next. We want to know A, B, C, and D. But only when you let go of everything that you know, everything that you're aware of, are you able to bring in new concepts, new ideas, be creative. So going into the void where there's nothingness, where there's no sense of control, only then can you surrender and allow something new to come in. Only then can you allow yourself to go to a different level. So the void is not a bad place. It feels terrible. Trust me, I know that. But when you start to understand that when you're in the void, that's when you become your most creative, then you will welcome the void and you will be able to move in and out of the void as necessary. So hopefully this gives you some kind of comfort when you feel like things aren't just working like you want it to. You're not feeling like you want to. Things are they're not working out right. You know, you thought you had this option and an option went away and you say, oh, I now feel defeated. No, you're in the void. You're actually learning and growing. So with that, I leave you with peace, love, and a whole lot of light. Until next time, it's a heart thing. Cynthia. Thanks, guys.